Headed to Japan? I'm here to tell you that the culture shock starts before you even leave the airport. The kanji signs, the different sounds, the almost magical sense of organization, and the silence amid the crowds may make you wonder, am I in the right place? But don't worry, because today I'll tell you everything you need to know to arrive prepared, enjoy every moment, and avoid any headaches. The moment your plane touches down in Japan, it feels like you've crossed not just oceans, but decades of advancement in organization and collective respect. You'll exit the plane and immediately notice that every detail here has been thought out to work unhurriedly, but with surgical precision. It's not the chaotic disembarkation you see in many places. Here, everything flows as if it's choreographed. The first thing you'll notice at the airport is the silence. It's not an uncomfortable silence, but a silence of respect. No one is shouting on their phone, and there aren't people pushing or trying to cut in line. Even those who are in a hurry seem to move at a calm but purposeful pace. This sets the tone for your trip. In Japan, there's a curious balance between efficiency and tranquility. When you get to immigration, take a deep breath and be patient. The agents are polite, but they follow strict rules. They'll want to know your accommodation address, the reason for your visit, and they might even ask for details about your itinerary. This isn't because they're suspicious of you. It's simply their standard procedure. So have everything written down. The name and address of your hotel, phone numbers, dates of travel between cities, and, if possible, a digital copy of your itinerary on your phone. This not only makes things easier, but also shows you're organized, something they greatly respect. Oh, and one more detail. Even if you speak English, communication won't always be easy. It's fine in airports and tourist areas, but outside of those places, the language can be a barrier. So download an offline translation app beforehand. It might seem like overkill, but this is the kind of thing that prevents a lot of awkward charades when you need to ask for information. Another thing that might surprise you is the care taken with luggage. Unlike in many countries where you have to keep an eye on the carousel to grab your suitcase in the midst of the chaos, in Japan, bags are often removed and placed in a neat line, with the handle facing out, just to make it easier for you. It's a small detail, but it speaks volumes about how the country operates. When it's time to leave the airport, the public transportation will impress you. Trains and buses are so punctual, they seem to be programmed by an atomic clock. If the display says the train arrives at 3:32 p.m., it will arrive at 3:32 p.m., not a minute earlier or later. And this holds true for the rest of your trip. Now, an important warning. Japan is extremely safe, but don't confuse this with, you can leave your things lying around. Keep your belongings close, especially in crowded tourist spots. Cases of theft are rare, but distracted tourists can always become easy targets. The good stuff. Japan is one of those places you have to see to believe. And by see, I don't just mean the visuals, but the complete experience. A blend of culture, food, technology, and nature that few countries can match. Let's start with what every tourist loves: the culture. Culture and gastronomy. Japanese culture is incredibly rich and full of contrasts. In Kyoto, you'll find centuries-old temples, traditional tea ceremonies, and streets where time seems to have stood still. Meanwhile, in Tokyo, the futuristic capital, neon-lit skyscrapers stand side by side with ancient shrines and bustling fish markets that open at dawn. This duality is fascinating. You can spend the morning in a quiet temple and the afternoon in a high-energy district like Shibuya without feeling like the places are incompatible, and that in itself is an incredible cultural experience. The food is another major highlight. Get ready to eat well without breaking the bank. Fresh sushi, steaming ramen, okonomiyaki, takoyaki, and even convenience store meals from 7-Eleven or Lawson are delicious surprises. Each region has its own specialties. In Osaka, you'll get lost in the flavors of street food. In Hokkaido, you'll find fresh seafood and high-quality dairy. And don't worry about hygiene. The Japanese standard is extremely high, so eating almost anywhere is safe and enjoyable. Transport and people. Speaking of must-see things, It's impossible not to mention the public transportation. Trains, subways, and buses are clean, punctual, and quiet. Riding the Shinkansen or bullet train is almost a futuristic experience. You feel the speed without noticing any discomfort. The rail network covers almost the entire country, making travel between major cities and rural areas a breeze. Another plus is the respect and politeness of the local people. In any interaction, you'll notice how courteous, helpful, and discreet people are. It's common to receive help without even asking, and you'll see that respect is an ingrained social rule. This politeness is also reflected in the cleanliness and organization, clean streets, spotless stations, and a general feeling of safety. Nature and technology. We can't forget about nature. Despite Japan's modern image, the country offers spectacular landscapes, snow-covered mountains, colorful flower fields, bamboo forests, and, of course, the famous cherry blossoms in the spring. Each season has its own magic and provides incredible opportunities for unique photos and experiences. Additionally, Japanese technology is fascinating. Toilets with futuristic functions, automated stores, and gadgets that seem straight out of a sci-fi movie show how Japan harmoniously combines tradition and innovation. The feeling of safety is a huge positive. Walking at night, taking public transport, or exploring unknown cities is worry-free, which allows you to enjoy more and fret less about the unexpected. The downsides. Despite all the wonders Japan offers, it's important to be prepared for some challenges and cultural shocks that can catch tourists by surprise. The goal isn't to scare you, but to make you aware so you can enjoy your trip without frustration. Language and culture. The first thing many tourists notice is the language barrier. Outside of major tourist areas, English is extremely rare. Signs in kanji, untranslated menus, and the lack of English speakers can cause confusion. This doesn't mean you won't get by, but translation apps on your phone become essential. Even ordering food or finding an address might require some improvisation, so patience and planning make all the difference. Another significant point is the culture shock. Japan has social rules that might seem strange to outsiders. Talking loudly on public transportation, eating while walking on the street, or touching people without permission are behaviors that can draw disapproving looks. Even simple gestures like taking off your shoes before entering a home or certain establishments are mandatory. If you don't respect these rules, you risk feeling uncomfortable and drawing unwanted attention. Costs and logistics. While Japan is considered one of the safest countries in the world, there are still scams and small traps for tourists. Bars in tourist areas might charge hidden fees, restaurants might have different prices than you expected, and taxi drivers sometimes don't give the correct change by mistake. These aren't common scams, but an unsuspecting tourist can have a few unpleasant surprises. Another negative for some travelers is the cost of living. Traditional restaurants, central accommodations, and tourist attractions can be expensive if you don't plan ahead. Fortunately, there are more affordable alternatives, such as convenience store meals, hostels, and transportation passes, but it's good to be aware that traveling in Japan can strain your budget without proper planning. The weather can also be challenging depending on the time of year. Hot and humid summers require light clothing and constant hydration, while harsh winters, especially in the north, call for thermal gear. Seasonal rains can disrupt outdoor plans, so always check the weather forecast before scheduling activities. Another detail that bothers some tourists is the extreme punctuality. While this can be a good thing, it's also very rigid. Missing a train or bus means waiting for the next one, which can be a long time depending on the region. Unlike in other countries where you can improvise, here every minute counts. Finally, overcrowding in some tourist areas is something to consider. Places like the Shibuya crossing in Tokyo or famous temples in Kyoto can be packed, especially during peak season. The experience is still incredible, but it requires patience and a watchful eye on your personal belongings. Unique quirks. Japan is a country full of details that, for a first-time visitor, can seem surprising or even unbelievable. These unique quirks aren't just for fun. They help you understand how the local culture works and what makes Japan so special. Vending machines and high-tech toilets. Let's start with vending machines. You'll find one on almost every corner, and that's no exaggeration. But don't be fooled. They don't just sell sodas or snacks. It's common to find machines that sell hot coffee, boiled eggs, umbrellas, t-shirts, and even books. Some more modern machines even accept smartphone payments, so you don't need cash. For anyone who loves convenience or needs something quickly, these machines are a marvel. Another detail that stands out is the futuristic toilets. The first time you use one, get ready to feel like you're in a sci-fi movie. Heated seats, privacy music, adjustable water sprays, automatic hand dryers, and buttons that can be intimidating at first glance are all common features. It might seem excessive, but this technology shows how Japan values comfort, hygiene, and the user experience. Punctuality and etiquette. Speaking of punctuality, the transportation system is a marvel in itself. Trains and subways almost always arrive at the exact minute. A difference of just 2 minutes is considered a delay. This extreme attention to schedules isn't just about efficiency, it's a reflection of respect for other people's time and a cultural trait that permeates daily life in Japan. You'll also notice that the cleanliness and organization are stunning. Streets, stations, and even temples in tourist areas are kept immaculate. There are very few public trash cans, but this doesn't mean things are messy. People carry their trash home or to the next designated collection point. This care reflects the sense of collective responsibility present in Japanese society. Another quirk is the food etiquette. It's common to see people eating on trains or buses, but only if the food was bought at a designated travel spot. Eating while walking on the street is considered rude, and some restaurants might not allow you to bring in outside food. It's a habit that might seem strange at first, but makes sense within the cultural logic of respect and discipline. Festivals and miniatures. Speaking of traditions, the seasonal festivals are unmissable. From the cherry blossoms in the spring, known as hanami, to fireworks and lantern festivals in the summer, each season brings a unique opportunity to experience local culture. Participating in these events is a way to feel like you're part of daily Japanese life, even as a tourist. And for a fun detail, the love for miniatures and attention to detail. From restaurants that serve miniature versions of their dishes to display the menu to meticulously decorated themed cafes, you'll see that every element is designed to create an experience and beauty. This attention to detail is in everything: architecture, product packaging, food presentation, and even public gardens. One of the most important things to know when visiting Japan is the etiquette and expected behavior with hosts and locals. Here, small actions that seem normal to tourists can be interpreted differently, and following a few basic rules ensures respect and more positive experiences. Key etiquette and behavior: greetings and personal space. Unlike many Western countries, a handshake is not common. In most situations, you are expected to perform a slight bow, or ojigi. There's no need to overdo it. A 15 to 30-degree bow is sufficient for informal settings. In more formal environments, a slight upright bow shows respect and politeness. Another crucial rule is about shoes. When you enter Japanese homes, specific temples, schools, or even traditional restaurants, you must take off your shoes. You'll usually find a designated area to leave them and often be provided with a pair of indoor slippers. Ignoring this rule is considered disrespectful and can cause embarrassment, even if you're a tourist. It's also essential to be quiet or speak softly in public places. On public transport, in restaurants, and even in tourist areas, talking loudly or making noise is considered impolite. Respect for others' space and the tranquility of the environment is a hallmark of Japanese culture. On a train, for example, avoid phone calls, text messages, and quiet conversations are the norm. Dining and interactions. When interacting with hosts or locals, small gestures make a big difference. For instance, when receiving something like a drink, food, or a gift, it's polite to accept it with both hands. This shows respect and appreciation for the other person's effort. Another point: Avoid exaggerated gestures or touching people without their consent, which can be seen as invasive in Japanese culture. In restaurants, there are simple but important rules. Never stick your chopsticks upright in your food. This resembles funeral rituals. Also, avoid passing food from one set of chopsticks to another, as this is another funeral custom. On the other hand, it is perfectly acceptable to say thank you before itadakimasu and after a meal, gochisusama deshita. These simple gestures show respect and are highly valued by locals. Public conduct. Another key behavior is respecting queues and waiting order. Whether on public transport, in stores, or at tourist attractions, patience and discipline are expected. Cutting in line is considered rude, even if you don't realize you're doing it. Also, be mindful of transportation etiquette. Prioritize seats for the elderly, pregnant women, and people with children. Avoid cluttering shared spaces, and keep your belongings close without invading others' personal space. A point to highlight is about gifts or souvenirs. If you visit someone's home, bringing a small gift is well regarded. It can be something simple, like sweets or a souvenir from your home country, carefully wrapped. The presentation is as important as the gift itself. Japan values attention to detail. Safety tips. Japan is widely recognized as one of the safest countries in the world, but that doesn't mean you should let your guard down completely. Following a few safety tips will help ensure your trip is smooth and free of unexpected issues, especially for first-time visitors. Protecting your belongings. First, while violent crime is extremely rare, petty theft can occur, particularly in crowded tourist areas or busy train stations. Only carry what you need, keep your backpack or bag in front of your body, and use inside pockets for documents and cash. Wallets with zippers and discreet fanny packs are good options for keeping your belongings secure. Public transportation. When using public transport, pay attention to a few details. Japan is safe, but missing a train or bus can set you back considerably. Arrive early, check schedules, and follow the signs. Additionally, even on very crowded stations and trains, keep your belongings close and be aware of any suspicious behavior. Though problems are rare. Money and cards. Another important point is being careful with your money and cards. Japan is still very cash-based in many regions, especially outside of major cities. Avoid withdrawing large sums at once and prefer to store cash in different places, for example, some in your pocket, some in your backpack. Credit cards are accepted at hotels and large stores, but not always at smaller restaurants or shops, so plan accordingly. Exploring and following rules. If you plan to explore rural areas or mountains, be prepared for quick weather changes and challenging terrain. Appropriate clothing, comfortable footwear, and offline maps are essential. Signage is good, but some trails or natural areas may have limited communication. Always let someone know your itinerary if you're heading to isolated regions. Another relevant detail is to respect local signs and rules. Traffic lights, crosswalks, and warning signs are not just recommendations, they are strict rules. Delays or disrespect can lead not only to legal problems, but also disapproving looks, as the society values order and discipline. Navigating and health. In urban areas, paying attention to transportation apps and addresses is essential. Many tourists get lost because hotel or restaurant addresses can be difficult to locate, especially in small alleys or old commercial districts. Use reliable maps, offline GPS, and confirm with local staff when necessary. Another important aspect is medical safety. Japan has an excellent healthcare infrastructure, but costs can be high for tourists without insurance. Always carry a basic first aid kit and have travel insurance that covers emergencies. Knowing the address of hospitals near your accommodation is a smart preventive measure. Finally, enjoy the fact that Japan is safe enough to walk around at night or explore cities without major worry, but always maintain a basic level of awareness, as you would anywhere else in the world. Avoid deserted areas late at night and don't leave valuables visible in parked cars or bicycles. Smart tips to save money. Traveling through Japan is an incredible experience, but it can also be expensive if you don't plan ahead. The good news is that there are many clever strategies to save money without sacrificing comfort, great food, or the unique experiences the country has to offer. Here are some of them. Transportation. First, if you plan to travel between cities, the JR Pass is practically essential. It allows you to use almost the entire Japan rail train network for a fixed price over a specific period, usually 7, 14, or 21 days. Considering that a one-way trip from Tokyo to Kyoto can cost more than the 7-day pass, it pays for itself quickly. But be aware, the pass must be purchased before you arrive in Japan or at authorized points of sale. Planning your itinerary in advance helps you decide which type of pass is most worthwhile. To save on transportation within cities, consider daily metro or bus passes. In Tokyo, for example, there are unlimited one-day passes that cost less than several individual trips and allow you to explore various tourist districts. In smaller cities, rental bikes are an economical and practical option, and they provide a closer look at local life. Food. Another way to save is on food. While traditional restaurants and high-quality sushi can be pricey, Japan offers very affordable alternatives. Convenience stores like 7-Eleven, Lawson, and Family Mart sell high-quality ready-made meals, bento boxes, and snacks that cost much less than formal restaurants. Additionally, ramen or gyudon, beef and rice bowls, chains, offer tasty dishes for reasonable prices, generally between 500 and 900 yen. This combination of flavor, hygiene, and affordability is perfect for tourists. Accommodation. For accommodation, consider hostels, capsule hotels, or business hotels. Many of them are modern, clean, and located near stations, making travel easy. Despite the smaller space, the savings are significant, and the experience is often fun, especially in capsule hotels, which offer a unique touch of Japanese culture. Booking in advance also guarantees better prices and greater availability. Activities and shopping. A valuable tip is to take advantage of free or low-cost attractions. Many temples and parks are free or ask for only a symbolic contribution. Cherry blossom gardens, historic shrines, and even some museums offer free days or hours, so it's worth checking before you visit. Planning these activities helps reduce expenses and still allows you to experience the culture authentically. Furthermore, shop at local markets and discount stores, known as 100-yen shops. You'll find everything from souvenirs to essential items, all with excellent value for money. These types of stores are great for buying gifts without spending a lot, and also for anyone who needs last-minute travel items. Finally, be mindful of special times and dates. Many attractions offer discounts during off-peak hours or specific events. Also, traveling outside of peak season, like national holidays or during peak cherry blossom season, helps you save on accommodation and transportation, avoiding crowds and inflated prices. Traveling to Japan is more than just visiting a country. It's an immersion into a fascinating culture, rich with tradition, technology, and unique experiences. From ancient temples to futuristic bullet trains, every moment offers something that will stay with you forever. Whether you're a fan of gastronomy, history, or natural landscapes, Japan has something special waiting for you.